Hello, teachers. Before we begin, think about the last time you asked your students a simple recap question. Maybe you said, "Did everyone understand?" And the whole class nodded yes. But later, when you checked their notebooks or took a short quiz, you realized many were still confused. This moment shows us something important. Assessment is happening all the time, not just during exam. Before we begin, here is what we aim to achieve together today. By the end of this session, we will be able to clearly understand the different types of assessment and when each one is most useful in our classrooms. We will explore how assessment for learning can help us support students continuously, not just at the end through timely feedback and instructional adjustments. And finally, we will learn how to plan and apply assessment for learning cycle in our daily teaching practices. So assessment become a tool for growth rather than just measurement. There are different kinds of assessment that we use, sometimes without even realizing it. When we begin a lesson and ask a warm question like, "What do you remember for yesterday?" That's diagnostic assessment. It helps us understand what students know before we begin. And while we are teaching, when we walk around the class, ask questions, check notebooks, observe expressions, use exit tickets, this is assessment for learning or formative assessment. And diagnostic assessment is also one kind of assessment for learning. It helps us change our teaching instantly to support students when they need it. At the end of the unit or term, when students take a test, receive marks or rankings, that's assessment of learning, also known as summative assessment. Learning has already happened, now we are measuring it. At the end of the unit or term, when students take a test, receive marks or rankings, that's assessment of learning, also known as summative assessment. Learning has already happened, now we are measuring it. And when students check each other's work, reflect and correct their own answers, that is assessment as learning, building independence and ownership. What do the NEP and NCF for school education state regarding assessment? The NEP and NCF remind us that strong assessment means using all three approaches of learning, for learning, and as learning, because each plays a distinct role in supporting growth. NEP 2020 tells us that assessment must be meaningful and regular, not stressful and exam-centric. It should help students think critically and help teachers continuously adjust teaching. Let's look at a quick example. Imagine a high jumper training for a tournament. He practices step by step, run up, take off, flight, landing, over many years. His coach watches closely, gives feedback, help him refine his technique and supports improvement. That ongoing feedback is assessment for learning, guiding growth every day. The final jump in the competition where athlete is judged is assessment of learning. It tells us the result, but it doesn't help him improve. Just like plants, watering and nurturing every day supports growth. That is an assessment for learning, while simply measuring height is assessment of learning. So today, our focus is learning how assessment can support children when they need it the most. Minute by minute, daily, weekly, not only at the end. The more frequently we understand their needs, the better we can guide them. Assessment becomes meaningful only when it aligns with learning objectives and is used to plan what we teach next. Now let's explore assessment for learning more deeply. So think about what AfL means to you. Is it about feedback? Is it about providing chance to a student to do the assessments again? Or is it about helping learners know how to improve or develop capacity for self-assessment? So what is AfL? for you. As you can see, AfL is a combination of all of these elements. Not used to grade students, provide chance to a teacher to revisit the concept, students and teachers learn together, is sensitive and constructive, foster motivations, it provides chance to a student to do the assessment again, is central to classroom practice, focuses on how people learn, is part of effective planning. So here we are not judging a student, we are tracking, we are understanding where student stands and then accordingly change or modify our teaching strategy. Now let's take a closer look at the assessment for learning cycle, the process that helps us use assessment meaningfully to support students' growth. The cycle begins with defining clear learning outcomes, knowing exactly what we want students to learn. Once the outcomes are clear, we move to planning the assessment, deciding how we will check understanding along the way. Next, we start gathering evidence through observation questions, student work, discussions, and quick activities. We then interpret that evidence to understand what students have grasped and where they need more help. The next step is using results, making decisions such as reteaching, giving additional practices, or extending learning for advanced students. And finally, providing feedback. The step that truly drives improvement, helps students understand that they did well and what they should work on next. This cycle keeps learning active and responsive, ensuring that assessment becomes a tool for improvement,
planning, gathering evidence, interpreting data, to giving meaningful feedback. So stay curious, stay open, then let's learn together how assessment can transform learning, not just measure it. Let's begin.